Nation Statistics supporters. This is a Stats MR, returning with another presentation to sleep through. For today's presentation, I'll be taking different Sporcle quizzes related to leaders of different countries. And these are historical leaders, none of these are current leaders. Two will be in the United States, then two in the United Kingdom, two in France, and then one or two of either Deutschland or the predecessor of Deutschland, Prussia, but time permitting. So, anyway, in terms of the thumbnail, I had trouble finding some photos from some of these leaders. Again, they lived prior to photography, so some of these selections, so had to go with a more generic thumbnail. Okay, let's start. Okay, so we'll start in the United States with the quiz about George Washington, the first president. So I have 25 questions. Let's see how it goes. 2004, University of Washington School of Medicine proposed that Washington might have been infertile due to an infection of, say, tuberculosis, because he and Martha never had any children. He is the only president to actually go into blank while serving as president. Let's see. I'm going to say battle. George Washington only rejected two bills, one that intended on cutting the size and cost of the military, and the blank bill of 1792. I think that's the abolishment bill. Washington fought for the British in the 7 Years' War and ambushed a small French force at Jumonville-Glen, the 28th of May, 1754. Washington's cabinet included Secretary of War Henry Knox. In the midst of the Civil War, President Abraham Lincoln issued a proclamation calling on Americans to celebrate. I don't think you'd say whiskey distillery, but or Virginia. That was in the Confederacy. I'll say Washington's birthday. Washington was the only president to be formally inaugurated in two cities, the first time in New York City, and the second time in probably Philadelphia, because D.C. was not constructed at that point. He spent the early part of his career as a professional surveyor, grading nearly 2,000. Well, they create maps, so yeah, maps. George Washington owned a blank that produced 12,000 gallons a year. Probably a whiskey distillery. Washington requested to be and is currently buried at blank. That's Mount Vernon. George Washington was the first blank of the United States. Well, that'd be president. 1793, the president declared that the U.S. would be impartial towards powers currently at war with each other in the proclamation of neutrality. Washington kept and bred many dogs and is known as the father of the American foxhound. George and Martha were married at her home known as the White House. Best estimates put the number of blank Washington penned somewhere between 18,000 and 20,000. Say letters. A law passed to make Washington the highest-ranking U.S. officer of all time, blank of the armies of the United States, say General. Washington introduced mules to America when he bred donkeys from the king blank with his own horses, say Spain. Washington's favorite breakfast was oatcakes, simple pancakes made with cornmeal served with butter and honey. In 1789, his presidential salary was 2% of the total U.S. budget. That's a big section of the GDP going the inauguration, he never wore a blank, although he did use powder to make his hair look white, say wig. For 30 years, Washington made a close relationship with his personals. I'll say William Lee from the choice. Washington was made an honorary citizen of. So we got 100 there. So we'll go on to the next American leader. Okay, so we'll do a second quiz related to an American leader. This one more infamous than famous, Richard Nixon. So, alright, we have 39 questions. Let's go. So, the year Nixon was born. So, I think it was like 1913, State where Nixon was born. He's born in California. Nixon's alma mater, so he went to Whittier College. And that's East LA. I think it's near the 605 State. It was there that Nixon met his future wife. That's Pat. Branch of the military in which Richard Nixon served in World War II. That'd be the Navy. 1946, Nixon was elected to the House of Representatives Congress Committee in which Nixon served. They actually had, this is the Un-American Activities Committee, accused by Nixon's role in the case involving him helped to launch Nixon into the national fame, international fame. I think that's Altus. Nixon's victorious 1950 Senate campaign. Nixon earned this two-word nickname. That'd be Tricky. 1952, Nixon ran for this office. I think he ran for the Senate. Senate, right? Oh no, he's vice president 1952. And I think he was the vice president for Eisenhower. Yeah, because Eisenhower was after Truman. Nixon insisted he would keep a Cocker Spaniel with this name. It was after a board game. Was it chess? Backgammon? Maybe checkers? 1959, Nixon debated with Nikita Khrushchev. Probably the kitchen. Nixon ran for president himself in 1960 with this political body that would be the Republicans. The opposing candidate was JFK, John F. Kennedy. Nixon's running mate was, it's like Henry Cabot Lodge. 1962, Nixon tried to run for this office. I think he was trying to be governor of California. People won't have Nixon to kick around anymore. That'd be the press. That did not turn out to be the case as Nixon ran for president again. That year, that'd be 1968. The opposing candidate was, who ran? Was it Hubert Humphrey? Okay, about halfway through. Nixon's running mate at the time, I think it was like Spiro Agnew. The sitting president at the time would be Lyndon Baines Johnson. Nixon did not have to run against the president who did not run because of his unpopularity due to the Vietnam War. Nixon's national security advisor and later Secretary of State was Kissinger. Country to which Nixon brought the war in an attempt to end it that began Cambodia. French rooted term for foreign policy towards the Soviets, which Nixon administration practiced, that'd be détente. Only Nixon could go to China. The leader of that country was Mao Zedong. Talks to end the ongoing war had, it was in Paris. Nixon ran for re-election again in 1972 against this Democrat. I think it was like McGovern. In the summer of that year, some folks broke into this hotel. That'd be Watergate. They turned out to be members of the committee to re-elect the president, known by the CRB. Nixon was forced to pick a new VP in 1973, and he chose this congressman. I think it was Gerald Ford, right? Yeah. Eventually, Nixon became the first president to do what? Let me resign. Nixon did this in which year? I think he did it in 74. This reporter got the first interview Nixon gave about the scandal. I think David Frost. Okay. Nixon passed away in what year? Is it 1995? It was in the 90s. Nixon Presidential Library Museum is located in this California city. Okay, so he did well in the American Leaders quizzes, so now we'll go over to the United Kingdom. Okay, so for the first United Kingdom leader quiz, we'll take a quiz on Winston Churchill. What was Churchill's first name? That'd be D. Winston. Churchill served 2 non-consecutive terms as Prime Minister of which country? That'd be A. The United Kingdom. These terms were served whilst Churchill was the leader of which UK political party? That'd be the B. Conservative. In 1940, Churchill became the Prime Minister following the failed appeasement of Germany. 1931, who did Churchill called a seditious Middle Temple lawyer? That'd be Gandhi. Young Conservative PM 1904, Churchill crossed the floor to join what other political party? That'd be the D. Liberal. Churchill was the only UK Prime Minister to win the Nobel Prize. I think it was in literature. 1915, Churchill lost his post as First Lord of the Admiralty after which failed World War I campaign? That'd be Gallipoli. November 1874, Churchill was born at which well-known residence in Woodstock, Oxfordshire? That'd be the Blenheim Palace, I believe. November 1942, which country did Churchill refer to as the soft underbelly of the Axis? That'd be Italy. 1910 to 1911, Churchill held which cabinet post in H.H. Asquith's Liberal government? I think it was the Home Secretary. Churchill said of which UK Prime Minister he has much to be modest about. That'd be Attlee. 1943, having served as its MP from 1908 to 1922, Churchill refused the freedom of which city? That'd be Dundee. Churchill uttered his famous end to the beginning quote following the victory in which World War II battle? That'd be the Second Alamein. B. Cabinet War Rooms. Churchill's World War II bunker is located under which Westminster building? I believe it's the Treasury. Okay, so did well on that one. Now we'll go to one other UK. Okay, so this second UK leader, he also resigned, although his is less, it's a little more vague or uncertain as to why he resigned. I say there's different theories and about why he did, but nothing concrete. So anyway, it's Harold Wilson. So Harold Wilson is like 1917. Okay. He's born in Huddersfield. Alma mater was Oxford. His first name was Mary. Upon his Labour. Year in which he was first elected to Parliament. I think he came in with Attlee's government. Party leader he unsuccessfully challenged in 1961. That was Hugh Gates Gill. Prime Minister he succeeded in 19. That'd be the last. It was like Alec Douglas. Just one. Nominated the members of this rock band, the Beatles. His attempt to get Britain into the European Economic Community was blocked by this French president. I think that was de Gaulle. His successor as Prime Minister, so he lost in 1970 to Ted Heath. Returned to the premiership in 1974, appointed this person as Chancellor of the Exchequer. I think that was Dennis Healy. Yeah. Famously enjoyed this sauce on his meals. That's the HP sauce. Yeah, it's a brown sauce of tomatoes and tamarind combination. Died in the, was it 1996, 95? Yeah, okay. Alright, so did well on the UK leaders. Now we'll go to the two French leaders. Okay, so the first leader we'll look at is, French leader we'll look at is Napoleon Bonaparte. Recently had a film came out about him, so we'll do a quiz, see how it goes. Napoleon was born in Napoleon captured in 1793, causing his promotion to Brigadier General. Toulon. On the 5th of October 1795, Napoleon crushed a royalist rebellion, allowing which five-member committee to rise to government. The Directory, which lover of his did Napoleon marry on the 9th of March 1976 at Josephine. The Treaty of Oban was signed between Napoleon and which political entity after the latter was nearly beaten in battle. I think that's the Holy Roman Empire. Which powerful Italian city-state did Napoleon defeat in 1797, ending nearly 1,100 years of its independence? That'd be Venice. Which African country did Napoleon invade to strengthen the French navy? That'd be Egypt. In his invasion of Russia, Napoleon decided to retreat, after which battle fought outside Moscow. I think that's the Battle of Borodino, yeah. Which of these countries was not part of the Sixth Coalition? I don't know if that was after the second or third partition. I'm going to say Poland. Napoleon escaped his exile at Elba and regained power, only to be defeated again and sent to which remote Atlantic island? That'd be Saint Helena. Is that the last question? Okay. So you got 100, alright. Then now we'll go a little bit more into the past. Okay, so now we'll do a second leader in France, although this is more a precursor to France. Charlemagne, the king of the Franks, kind of in the Middle Ages. So, anyway, we have some events, we have to put them in chronological order. So, let's begin. Alright, so the first event. So he had, in life at birth. And probably his father needs to become king, so he'd be, the heir. Then he would need to become the sole ruler. Then, so he's credited with creating the Holy Roman Empire, so that includes Germany and northern Italy. So he'd need to make raids on the Saxons. He'd probably need to conquer Lombardy, which is in northern Italy. Then probably need to make his son king of Italy. He'd probably need to take control of Bavaria, which is another section of Germany. And probably provided safe travel to Rome for Pope Leo III. They probably need to delegate, an older age, probably need to delegate power to his son Louis. Then you have death to conclude. So, we put the order correctly. Russian slash early German leader. And essentially we have to look at the life events and guess when they occurred. So, Otto von Bismarck. Alright, so Bismarck becomes a member of the newly elected Prussian legislature. I'm going to say the 1840s. Bismarck studies law and then agriculture at a series of universities, also joining the Army Reservists. He'd probably have to do that when he was young, so I'm going to say 1830s. Bismarck was born, noble family estate west of Berlin in Prussian Saxony. That'd be 1810s. Bismarck is converted from ultra-Prussianism to a pan-Germanic political mindset. This would be Triple Alliance, becomes minister. I had to rush through that, but yeah, I had 1 second left, so I would have liked to have gone through those more slowly, but we can go through those a little bit slowly now. So yeah, Russian in the 1860s becomes minister, president, and foreign minister of Prussia. He wins the Franco-Prussian War, founding the second and completing the unification of Germany in the 1870s. Negotiates the Triple Alliance with Austria, Hungary, and Italy. He leaves office after completing his main political and military goals. So, anyway, that's the Bismarck quiz. So, okay, so do one last quiz. And this is related to a fairly recent leader in Deutschland, Angela Merkel. See how it goes. Okay, year of birth, I think it was 1954. City of birth was Hamburg. Maiden name was Kastner. Middle name Dorothy. First husband was Ulrich Merkel. And the second husband was Sauer. Named a doctor in quantum chemistry. Political party is the CDU. Elected to the Bundestag in 1990. State you represent is which is on the shores of the Baltic in northeast Germany. Served as the Minister for Women and Youth under this chancellor. I think it's Emmett Kohl. Yeah, Emmett Kohl. Became party leader in this year, I think it was 2000. Predecessor's party leader, I think that is Schauble. Chaubel. CHAU. Became German Chancellor, I think it was 2005. Predecessor's Chancellor was Schroeder. Gerhard Schroeder. Number of federal elections she won, I think it was 4. Successor's party leader is like stepped down to 2021. Well, ran out of time. So, yeah, Gramp Gallenbauer. Legend Paul and Paula Lutheran was really in xenophobia. I think that's dogs. So, that one ran out of time. So, well, that will end the quizzes. So, anyway, this is a StatsMA, wishing that your efforts are positively correlated with the results.